the Cleveland Cavaliers select LeBron James.
What if the NBA hit the ultimate reset? Every team stuck with only the players they drafted. No blockbuster trades, no league-altering signings. Would the Thunder still dominate without their MVP SGA? Would the Lakers be sitting at the bottom of the league without Luka and LeBron? And the biggest question of all, who would actually rule the NBA? We're ranking all 30 teams in a world where loyalty isn't a choice, it's the rule. Welcome to B-Ball Threads. This is every NBA team ranked if they had to keep their drafted players. Coming in at dead last are the Los Angeles Clippers, who have an atrocious starting lineup of Eric Gordon, Terrence Mann, Quentin Grimes, Miles Bridges, and DeAndre Jordan. This team is full of unproven playoff contributors and players way past their prime, making them easily the worst team in the league. Next up are the Utah Jazz, who are rocking a lineup of Keontae George, Josh Hart, Ace Bailey, Santi Aldama, and Kyle Filipowski. This is pretty similar to their actual lineup, which is one of the worst in the league already. Adding Josh Hart and Aldama don't really move the needle that much, so they come in at 29. In 28th are the Washington Wizards with their starting five of Trey Johnson, Bradley Beal, Deni Avdija, Rui Hachimura, and Alex Sarr. This lineup is pretty solid, but without a consistent number one option and Trey Johnson having much to prove, they aren't better than the other teams above them. Next up are the Brooklyn Nets. Their lineup is Cam Thomas, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kyle Kuzma, Nick Claxton, and Jarrett Allen. This team has a good blend of scoring and defense, but again, just don't have the star power to put them over the top, so they come in at 27. The New York Knicks come in at 26. They boast a roster of RJ Barrett, Talen Horton-Tucker, Obi Toppin, Kristaps Porzingis, and Mitchell Robinson. The real Knicks team is stacked, but you can't say the same for this one. And to be honest, this squad might be worse than the Brooklyn squad ranked behind them. The Phoenix Suns are 25th with a roster of Devin Booker, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Toumani Camara, Jalen Smith, and DeAndre Ayton. D-Book is carrying this team's offense on his back, and if not for Camara's stellar defense, this team would have ranked lower than where we have them. The Miami Heat come in at 24 with a roster of Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Bam Adebayo, and Kel'el Ware. This team is literally the roster for the real Heat team, and it's not a good one. The Heat struggled mightily after the loss of Jimmy Butler, so it's no surprise they rank so low on this list. At 23 are the Portland Trail Blazers with their starting five of Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, Isaiah Stewart, and Donovan Clingan. This team is in essence the Blazers' real roster of the last few seasons. Shaedon Sharpe looks to take a huge jump sooner than later, but Dame's age and torn Achilles hurt this team's rankings a little bit. The Chicago Bulls are next up with a lineup of Kobe White, Jimmy Butler, Matas Buzelis, Bobby Portis, and Daniel Gafford. This is a solid lineup with solid vets like Jimmy and Gafford, along with rising young stars and Kobe White and Matas Buzelis. The squad is good, but the ones ahead of them are just too stacked. The Lakers come in at 21 with a starting five of D'Angelo Russell, Jaden McDaniels, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, and Ivica Zubac. With two former All-Stars in Randle and Ingram, plus two players with NBA All-Defense capabilities in McDaniels and Zubac, this squad is solid from top to bottom. D'Angelo Russell leads the charge at point, but his streak inconsistency hurts the Lakers' ranking. The Spurs are next with their lineup of Stephon Castle, DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Jeremy Sohan, and Victor Wembanyama. This would be like adding two All-Star vets to the existing Spurs roster, and this team would have ranked much higher if Castle and Wemby were in their prime. In a few seasons, new number 2 overall pick Dylan Harper could take someone's spot as well. The Detroit Pistons come in at 19 with a starting five of Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Chris Middleton, Asar Thompson, and Andre Drummond. In my opinion, this is a slight downgrade from Detroit's real roster as they lose Jalen Duren, but overall still a solid team. The Sacramento Kings come in at 18 with a very solid roster of Tyrese Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox, Gary Trent, Keegan Murray, and Zach Collins. There's no denying the star power of the guard duo, but there would be questions on if they'd fit well together. Keegan is a solid 3-and-D player at the 4, but Gary Trent and Zach Collins aren't good enough at the 3 and 5 to garner the Kings a higher spot on this list. Next on this list are the Milwaukee Bucks with a team of Kevin Porter Jr., Malcolm Brogdon, Dante DiVincenzo, Norman Powell, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. A little undersized, this team has solid contributors at every position along with one of the best players in the NBA in Giannis Antetokounmpo. Having a real center hurts this team, but Giannis can definitely fill that void. At 16, we have the Golden State Warriors with their team of Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Jonathan Kuminga, and Draymond Green. While some people may be upset with the Dubs ranking this low, especially as this is pretty much their 2022 championship team, everyone on this team has regressed since then outside of Curry, and people just have to accept that their once big three of Curry, Klay, and Dre just won't get the job done anymore. In the middle of the pack at 15, we have the New Orleans Pelicans with their starting five of Jeremiah Fears, Dyson Daniels, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, and AD at the 5. This team is a juggernaut on both ends of the floor, and the only thing holding them back is their lack of shooting. Even in the middle of the pack, this team is easily one of the best defensive teams on the list. At this point of the list, I believe all these teams have the potential to be top 6 seeds in their conferences if they were actually in the NBA. Next are the Dallas Mavericks with a lineup of Trae Young, Jalen Brunson, Josh Green, Cooper Flagg, and Kelly Olynyk. There's no denying the offensive firepower that backcourt brings, but both are severely undersized and underwhelming defenders. Although Cooper Flagg was the number 1 pick, I'm still a little questionable on his game, and the other 2 players are just straight up mid. At 13 are the Memphis Grizzlies with a solid squad of Ja Morant, Jalen Wells, Trey Murphy, Jaren Jackson, and Walker Kessler. The shot blocking capabilities of the front court are crazy, while Jalen Wells and Trey Murphy provide elite perimeter defense. All of this with Ja Morant at the helm, and this team definitely has playoff potential. The Houston Rockets are next with a starting 5 of Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., and Isaiah Hartenstein. This team is pretty much exactly the same to the actual Rockets team that earned the 2nd seed this past season. There's no reason this squad can't find themselves in the playoff race even after losing their star Alperen Sengun. The Toronto Raptors come in at 11 with a team of Scottie Barnes, DeMar DeRozan, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and Jakob Poeltl. This is a talented team with tons of size and both offensive and defensive capabilities. The only thing that can harm this team is their lack of capable shooters, and I'm questionable if Scottie Barnes can reliably handle point guard capabilities. Coming in at 10 are the Orlando Magic with a starting 5 of Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Aaron Gordon, and Domantas Sabonis. Every player in this lineup are either above average or an all-star at their position. Spacing could be an issue for this team, but their all-star firepower is more than enough to almost put them in the top 10 of our list. The first team with a single-digit ranking are the Atlanta Hawks with a starting 5 of Luka Doncic, Zachary Rissarche, Jalen Johnson, John Collins, and Onyeka Okongwu. While this team doesn't stand out on paper, you have Luka Doncic, who is arguably the best playmaker in the league, paired with 3 lob threats and 3 above average 3-point shooters. With Luka at the helm, the rest of the squad will be given practice shots and pinpoint lob passes every single possession. Coming in at 8 are the Boston Celtics with a team of Peyton Pritchard, Desmond Bane, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and the Time Lord Robert Williams. This team has 2 NBA superstars, one of the best shooters in the league, a defensive anchor, and the 2025 Sixth Man of the Year. The teams ahead are just stacked super teams, but put this Celtics team in the NBA and they become instant title contenders. Coming in at 7 are the Indiana Pacers with an elite starting 5 of Andrew Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Miles Turner. On paper, this team has a perfect blend of offense and defense, but questions to Kawhi's health and the steep falloff in Paul George's production keep this team from ranking any higher. The Minnesota Timberwolves come in at 6 with a team of Anthony Edwards, Zach LaVine, Cam Johnson, Lauri Markkanen, and Karl Anthony Towns. This team is highly potent on offense with multifaceted scorers and 3-point snipers at every position. The only questions this team has are its frontcourt defense and if Ant can handle point guard capabilities. In 5th are the Philadelphia 76ers with a team of Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey, Mikal Bridges, Joel Embiid, and Nikola Vucevic. Every player on this team is capable of averaging 20 plus for a season, but like the Pacers, there are big questions on if Embiid can last the season. Still, with a plethora of proven stars, this team can help bring Philly's first ring since 1983. The Charlotte Hornets come in at 4 with a squad of LaMelo Ball, SGA, Brandon Miller, PJ Washington, and Jalen Duren. Not much needs to be said about this squad, who is more than solid 1 through 5, with of course the reigning MVP and Finals MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller are both all-star capable players, and pair that with 2 physical gritty players in PJ and Duren, and this team is built for success. The first of the top 3 are the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have a team of Darius Garland, Kyrie Irving, Andrew Wiggins, LeBron James, and Evan Mobley. Not much needs to be said. This team features 4 All-Stars, the best ball handler of all time, arguably the best player of all time, and the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. You may think this team will obviously be number 1, but the 2 teams above them just can't be beat. In second place are the OKC Thunder, who have an insane roster of James Harden, Jalen Williams, Kevin Durant, Alperen Sengun, and Chet Holmgren. Honestly, I had a hard time choosing between the top 2 teams, and this Thunder squad could very well be number 1. Either one of these teams would easily be considered one of the greatest super teams ever assembled and would win a championship with no problem at all. Finally, the very best team in our opinion and on the top of our list are the Denver Nuggets, with a starting 5 of Jamal Murray, Donovan Mitchell, Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic, and Rudy Gobert. Imagine taking that championship Denver Nuggets team and adding the best shooting guard in the world and a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. With Jokic still in his prime, this team would absolutely be lethal, but we'd understand if you think the Thunder or the Cavs are better. So, who truly rules the NBA in a world where teams live and die by their own draft picks? The Nuggets, Thunder, and Cavs reign supreme. But do you agree? Let us know in the comments which ranking surprised you the most. For more NBA related videos like this, subscribe to BeWell Threads. We're trying to be more consistent with our videos now, so hit that notification bell to never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.